My latest instrument library, Polyscape, is available now for the low price of $0, and it runs inside of the free Decent Sampler plugin on all platforms. If you want to check it out for yourself, you could find the link down below.
Unheard message. Hi there, I am calling about a package delivery for P.O. Box number. We are actually unable to deliver this to your address due to the size of the package, so it will be held here at the post office for you to pick up whenever you're ready. Thanks. Bye. End of message. To delete this message.
So I'm here outside the post office because I got to pick up a package that is apparently too heavy for our rather elderly male person to deliver, which kind of makes me feel bad, but I'm very excited because I think I know what it is. So let's go inside and find out. All right, and in we go. Oh man. Yeah, that's no joke, but oh boy, I have been waiting for this one. All right, upsy daisy, go on. All right. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, I'm sure you know that the original Arturia Polybrute is one of my favorite synthesizers of all time. It's one of my favorite instruments I've ever played. I mean, it's in the background of every video I make. I've used the thing to death on a bunch of projects, and I simp after it pretty hard. A little while ago, I had the opportunity to play a prototype of the 12-voice version, and I was madly in love with it right away. And I knew pretty quickly after that I was gonna have to come up with a really good excuse as to why there was yet another giant box with yet another giant keyboard in it in my home studio. Recently, my friends Ben and Jeremy posted some absolutely phenomenal demos of the Polybrute 12 that you should really check out if you haven't already. And it just so happens I have a couple pitch demo pieces I need to write for a YouTube series about Warhammer 40K. And I figured, given that the best way to break in a new piece of gear is to, you know, actually use it to make music, why not just do that today? There are very few things that bring me greater joy than finding one of those instruments or pieces of equipment that just seems to have music in it and makes sounds that inspire me to make things. And this is absolutely no exception to that category. Expression is really the name of the game with the new Polybrute 12, and I know everyone's excited about all the cool poly aftertouch stuff. All those little woobly movements with individual notes, but what's really cool is this morph feature. So you can hear I'm transitioning to a separate patch, but it's really the same patch, it's just an alternate state of it. And we can blend between these two at any time. And especially with these extra voices, this makes for some extraordinary patch abilities. Along with all the cool poly aftertouch, of course. But this is where the magic really kicks in. I'm going to play a note and record the movement of the Morphe pad here. And I'm just swiping through the different layers and blends of things like we did with the blend knob, but across 3 different axes. Now I can play that back on a loop. And this is also polyphonic. So each note is playing through that recording on its own. And this creates some incredibly cool sounds from a single synthesizer. Honestly, this alone is what had me the most excited about this new 12-voice version. One of the more unique ideas, though, is this new full touch thing. So we have velocity, as you'd expect, and aftertouch, poly aftertouch in this case. And that all works great, but we could flip to this other mode, and now we get the full range of the key press, and here it's being applied to the filter cutoff, as well as the aftertouch, all of this being polyphonic, to get this new layer of movement to a sound that I've not really experienced before. And that full touch being applied to something like a filter cutoff creates these really cool flutters and kind of manual LFOs or whatever with your fingers. And really turns this into one of the most extraordinarily expressive synthesizers I've ever used. And in a weird way, I feel like this is the moment a synthesizer becomes an instrument. In the little bit of time I've had to play with it up to this point, just sort of at night after I get done working on these projects every day that have just been eating my summer alive, I've just had so much fun playing with this. And with this video being the only real excuse I've had to really start sinking my teeth into it, I mean, just damn, this is one of those pieces of gear that is, in my mind, just truly extraordinary and just oozes inspiration and ideas and is so fun to play. I don't know that there's a better way to describe it than that. And, you know, I think everybody deserves a little bit of that now and again. Needless to say, this thing is probably pretty out there for most of the average home studio owner. I mean, it's huge, it's heavy, it's really expensive, and I've barely got space for this thing in my studio. But I have just found this thing so inspiring, and I just love it to pieces, you know? And I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. A little while ago, I saw the announcement that Spitfire was taking their Labs series of free instruments and converting it into this like paid subscription plugin thing. And I mean, to put it lightly, I think that fucking sucks really bad. So I can't speak for everybody, but I know for me personally, had I not had access to free music making software with things like Audacity or all the free plugins I've used and so hugely benefited from over the years, especially early on in my music career, I don't think I would be making music today. And I think this is a huge loss for especially the aspiring musician and composer community. So instead of just sitting here bitching about it on the internet, I figured, why not just do something about it? I know what an idea that is. So I figured, why not take this opportunity to just create my own series of free instruments that run in a free plugin that are free for everyone forever with no strings attached. Thanks to the, absolutely incredible generosity and patience of my patrons and to the friends and connections I've made in this industry throughout the lifespan of this channel that allow me to get my hands on things that would otherwise be really hard to get a hold of, and a little bit to myself for, absolutely grinding myself to death this summer working all these projects, trying to build up some extra money to just get this thing off the ground and going. I think I'm finally in a position to make all of this a reality, and that's a really big deal for me because I think I have this almost moral obligation, if I have the ability and resources to do something like this and make it free and it will benefit people, to just do that thing. And I know that I'm not a big company like Spitfire or whatever, where I have all this staff and resources and budget to do this kind of thing, but I want to try, because I guess on some level it's also just about sending a message that if I can do this by myself as a solo creator, then big companies like that have no excuse to not be able to do better. Admittedly, I am already about $8,000 in the hole before I've even released the first thing in this project, but that's okay, because I ain't no kind of business person, you know, and I guess this will just work itself out later, hopefully. But I guess this is all just my way of saying that you're probably gonna see a lot more content like this on the channel going forward, because I'm about to take a whole month to travel and work on the next few releases in this series, and hopefully that's okay, because this is my channel and that's what I wanna do. And I'm pretty excited to share all this with you, and hopefully you're excited to see what's next in it, and hopefully this will be the start of a good thing. So if you wanna support this project and this series of releases, you could become a patron, or you could check out my other instruments and sample packs and whatever, or just the free ones, or you could join my Discord, or you could just download this series of free instruments and go make something cool with it and tell me about it when you do. Or you can just go out and have yourself a great rest of your day. So with that, I will be back soon, and I'm really excited to show you what's next.